In this lecture, we will learn about the basic parts that make up a computer. First is the motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board of the computer. Other parts plug into slots on the motherboard. This computer part is often referred to as the brain of the computer. Next up is the CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. The CPU is a computer chip that contains millions of circuits. It executes instructions to make the computer function by taking input and turning it into output. Let's take a look at the GPU. The GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit, is a computer chip. It is a dedicated processor to just graphics operations. It helps us not to overtax the CPU in rendering high-quality graphics to the screen. Next up is the hard drive. The hard drive is used for storage on the computer. When you save a file on your computer, it is saved onto the hard drive, and you are able to access it and open that file at a later time. Let's look at the RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. Unlike the hard drive, the RAM is a volatile form of memory. Anything saved to the RAM is only saved until the computer is turned off, and cannot be accessed during a later session using the computer. Next up is the case. The case is also referred to as the system unit or housing. It stores the other parts of the computer. Next, we will look at the power supply. The power supply provides power to the computer, allowing us to turn it on and use it. Without a power supply, our computer will not turn on or operate, as it will not have any electricity that it can use. Next up is a part of the computer that we should all be familiar with, the mouse. A mouse is used for obtaining user input. It allows us to interact with the computer. There are several types of mice, including 3-button mice, trackpads, and gaming mice. We will look at the various types of mice in a later lecture on peripheral devices. Next up is the keyboard. A keyboard gets user input and allows us to interact with the computer. Like the mouse, it is a peripheral device that comes in many forms, and we will discuss it in greater detail in our peripheral devices lecture. Let's look at registers next. Registers are small holding places for memory. They are also the most expensive form of memory, but provide fast accessibility to data. Next up is the monitor. The monitor provides the user output and graphical display. All of the graphics that are rendered by the GPU are displayed on the monitor. Let's look at the fan. Computers have a fan or some sort of cooling system that keeps them from overheating. If the computer parts get too overheated, they may not function properly, so having a proper cooling system in a computer is essential. Next up is the video card. The video card produces video output that is rendered to the monitor. Computers also have a sound card. A sound card produces sound output and allows it to be sent to the speakers. Finally, we have expansion slots. Expansion slots let you plug in additional components to the computer to extend its capabilities. Note that there are more parts to computers, but these are the basic, essential parts that all computers have. By understanding each of these parts and how they function, you will have a better overall understanding of the inner workings of the computer that we will discuss in more detail in this course.